But you didn't even
What
walk.
part of Florida were they from?
Holly.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, he's got a lot. But they, like, lived there forever. It's not like, they're not from. Okay, I know there since like 40 years ago. Maybe longer. But originally from.
How did they meet first?
She actually works there.
First COVID, first lead.
So that's how. Oh, where how my daughter?
Setting them up.
She was going to school for her PhD down there. And he was living down there already. And they met through whatever social thing they could.
Hey, you're sitting on the wrong side.
Well, for me, I am.
I told Mike that the parents, he's the parent.
1 minute warning.
Yeah.
Mazel tov, Steve.
And Sam will have the third. And Al will have
Who's number two?
the third. Oh, no, see, we'll say it.
Boss might show, David.
Michelle?
I'll tell him, I said, Steve, insist. Because you know he always gives me a
Day 65, please rise if you're able.
ברוך אתה מלך העולם אשר נתן לזכוי בינה לבחין בין יום בין לילה. ברוך אתה מלך העולם שעשני בצלמו. ברוך אתה מלך העולם שעשני ישראל. ברוך אתה מלך העולם שעשני בן חורין. ברוך אתה מלך העולם פוקע אורים. ברוך אתה מלך העולם מלביש ערומים. ברוך אתה מלך העולם מתיר אסורים. ברוך אתה מלך העולם זוקף כפופים. ברוך אתה מלך העולם רך הארץ על המים. ברוך אתה מלך העולם שעשה לי כל צרכי. ברוך אתה מלך העולם מכין מצעדי גבר. ברוך אתה מלך העולם עוזר ישראל בגבורה. ברוך אתה מלך העולם עוטר ישראל בספרה. ברוך אתה אלוהינו מלך העולם הנותן ליעב כוח. ברוך אתה אלוהינו מלך העולם מעביש של המעלה. ויהי רצון מלפניך נעלה לבדלה ישתסלם. תרגלני בתורתו ובחל מזל. ולדעי ברבה ואומר واثنين يوم كل يوم لحين والحسد والرحمين بعينيك بعيني كروين وثغم لنا حسدين طبيم بروخ تعالناي قمال حسدين طبيم لعمو يسرائيل يهي رسول من لفنيك نالا على بطاش تسلي يوم كل يوم هذا ميرام رام ديكا شبين كذب بون كورونا ميم قضينا أنا ببلان ما يقول ما نوم ولا بنام لا لا أبدا نحن عم خابنا بنا بأبراهيم الكاتب في خاطر نحن حيين خاول شباب والفرق زي الشميخة أشوينو من طبع الخينو من نعيم قرالينو ما يافا يروش زينو أشوين شنانو مسكمين معربين عرب ببوكر وعمرين بعمين بخل يوم شما يسرائيل أدوناي إلهينو أدوناي إخاد شكر المغفرة قديش مخال مقدشي شميخة وقديش مخا بعولميخة بشهادة ترهيم وطابية كنين وبركة الله مقدش مخا برابين أتا هو الله إلهين وشماء مرارس وشماء إما داتا ورشون وتورون רבי ישמעאל אומר בשביל لا شيء כל דבר ש... כל דבר ש... וכן שנאחד ומחזירים זה אל זה עד שבו כתוב השלישי הוא יכריע ביניהם יהי רצון מלפניך ענה אלוהינו ולאבותינו שבעיני בית המקדש במהרה בימינו וסנהלכנו בסעודך ושם נעבדך בירח עם העולם שנים קדמניות.
Kaddish the Rabbanan, those who born in those who are your side or anyone else would like to join in with Hal. Age 71.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה בעלמא דיברה כרוסי ולמליך מרוסי בחיי אחון ביום אחון חיי דכל בית ישראל באה הגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מבורך לעולם ולעון מעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו לעולם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחה ונחמתה דאמרם בעלמא ואמרו אמן על ישראל ועל רבנן ועל תלמידיהן ועל כל תלמידיהן ועל כל מן דעוסקין באורייתא דבעצר הדין ודי בכל אתר ואתר יהי לכון ולכון שלמה רבה הנה וחסדה ברחמין וחיין אריכין ומזון הרוויחה ברכנה מן קדם הבון די בשמיה ואמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים טובים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו וברחמיו יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Age 81, this much here.
מזמור שהנהגת הבית הזה, נעלי שבת אלי כי רואה באפיים, אני אמרתי בשל ברמה. אליך עונך, הפחת המספדים החול לי בתח תחקי ותעזרן שמחה. למען זה מרחק כבוד ולידום על אלוהי, לעולם עודקה.
One is Kaddish, page 82.
יתגדל ויתקדש שמי רבה. בעלמא דיברה כרוסי ולמליך מלכותי. בחיי אחון ביום אחון, חיי דכל בית ישראל. באה הגלה בזמן קריב ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך. לעולם ולעון מעלמיה יתברך וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא. ויתהדר ויתעלה ויתהלל שמי דקודשה בריחו. לעולם מן כל ברכתה ושירתה. תשבחה ונחמתה דאמרם בעלמא ואמרו אמן. יהי שלמה רבה מן שמיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן. עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Age 83, who's rising to Rabel.
ברוך שאמר ויעבדם ברוך הוא ברוך עשה בראשית ברוך אומר ועשה ברוך גזר מחיים ברוך מרחם על הארץ ברוך מרחם על הבריות ברוך משלם שכר טוב לרעהו ברוך חי לעד וקיים לנצח ברוך בודי מציל ברוך שמו ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם ברוך עמם מולה עמו משובע מפואר בלשון חסד ועבדה בשירי דוד עבדך ונערך נעלה שבחו ובנמרון תעלה ושבחו מלכנו אלוהינו יחיד היה עולמים מלך משובע מפואר על יעד שמו גדול ברוך אתה אדוני מלך מהולל בתשבחות.
Age 92.
עוד אדוני כתוב כלם עזדו עוד אלוהים כלם עזדו עוד אלוהים כלם עזדו יעשינו לפודו כלם עזדו יעשה שמיים בנו כלם עזדו רחה סלמן כזה יעשה הורים כלם עזדו מקים סויים בחורם כלם עזדו יעשה מתוכם מקרא כי העולם עזדו ביחד חזק המזרוע נתריה כלם עזדו לכל זה ים סוף לגזם בין ונעפר ואחד בים סוף שהמלך האמורי כלם עזדו והמלך בשן כלם עזדו נתן ארצן נחל ישראל עבדו כלם עזדו שבשבלנו דחלנו כלם עזדו ורחינו מסרנו כלם עזדו נותן להם לחר בשר כי לעולם עזדו הודו לאל השמיים כי לעולם עזדו
Middle of page 95.
יהי כבוד אדוני לעולם ישמח אדוני מעבודתו ושם אדוני ברוך מעתה ועד עולם מזה השמש עד מבוא מחדש שם אדוני רם על כל גורם אדוני על שמיים ואדוני בשמיים دخل دور ودور الله بجمال عبد قويم أسأل الله يبارك الله تقوم أسأل الله كله طوش الله ما وهو رحوم يخبر عمون ورشيت وربا ليشيب بو ولو يعيركم حموسو أنا إشي عمل خيانينو بيوم قرآنو عايشة يوش ببديك أودي اللغة سيرشو عم شغالة تهلا لذي برام خالها ملك وابرخش مخالها ما يدو خالها كدول النار من الله بيوم دور الدلات هيك الدور لدي شبابا هدار كبور ديك ودبرين ملخوص قوار علمي شتاق بياخد دور ودور سما ياخد نار ياخد الجنوفنين وياخد ياخد الفوبين يعني ياخد اللي ياخد زبالة تالي ياخد مسؤولية على الحارة رسول الله قرب النار تالي على النار بربي بريخ قرب ساشم كتشول على معيد ونحن بريخ يا معتبر ونعم هاللويا 100 هللويا هللويا بخوتشو بخيازو هللو بروثاو هللو كروب الله هللو بثاق شفاء هللو بنبي الغنو هللو بثوب محال هللو بميني مالقاب هللو بسلسة شماع هللو بسلسة رعا كل الشماته لله هللويا كل الشماته لله هللويا بروخ الله العالم امين وامين بروخ الله مسيون شخين وشلام هللويا بروخ الله الرحيم الهي اسرائيل حسين فلوت لبدو بروخ شم كبر العالم الملك كبر اسكو الارض امين وامين ويبارك داوود الله لان يكون الله يعمل داوود بعض الله اخذنا الله وكبر وتفر من حتى هو الله إذا مشى بحرت بأبرام ويسوس مركزين مسامت شمو أبراهام ومساعدة لبابا لإيمان لفنيخا وخذ أمو بريد رئيس كنعاني آتيا ويابا خزف فيهم ويابوسو خيام بيابشا ودروت فيهم يشلختك مسوراتكم ابن بمايم عزيم ويوشع الله بيوم مياه المصايب ويساعد المصايب ويا إسرائيل سيارك للاش عسى الله بمصرايم ويروح عامث الله وأمين بالله مشي عبدو از يشير مشي ابن إسرائيل شير الزوت الله يمر المر شير الله كجوجا سسربا زهري والماء مي كمو خبايلي من مي كمو خان الدار بقول نوراته لوط اسفله نتيجه هي مثلا نتيجه انا حسب الدار مخداش الناي كان يديخ الناي ملوخ على معيد الناي ملوخ على معيد كيل الناي ملوخ مشل بقويم وعلو مشين بهار صيون لشبول العرس وهيت الناي ملوخ وهي الناي ملخ الكل العرس بيوم ويانا حاد وشمو احد شماس كل حياته برخص الشمخ الله لهين ورواك البصار سفر وثر مام زخرة خمر كان تميل من عالم وعلى عالم التعيل برانين لانه ميلك ولا مش يوان لانه مديم اللي فينهم اللي شيرة بيان وعينين ما يرود هنا نحن مسبيك ملا ولا خلنا إلى هنا ولا بدين والبريخ شيء ما يخالف وريبر برضه ما شاسي أي ما بدين وما מצרים גאלתנו על נעלינו בית עבדים פרידן, ברעב זנתנו בסבב גליון, חרב בסבתנו ודבר המחל הזבון ועל נעלינו לנסח. על כן אמרים שבלעת בנו ורואן שמענו ונבא, בראשון השם. נלחם שבחן פרחה ודברך השם קודשך כאמור לדוד דברכי נפשי אדוני וכל קורבי השם קודשו ואל בעצמות הזכר הגדול בכבוד שמך הגבור הנצח והנורא בנורותיך המלך היושב על כיסא רם בנישא.
I'm the one that's got the door to get.
No, it's my glasses.
Shochenad maram v'kadosh shemaho v'katu b'ram b'tzadikim ben Shem navatila b'fi yesharim tis halal d'bred tzadikim tis barach u'v'shon chasidim tis romam u'v'kerev kadoshim tis kadash u'v'amkalot revivot amcha bet Yisrael Sheken chovot kol yitzrim l'fanach Adonai l'hen v'alei avotenu lo del l'shabech v'fe'el l'ramem l'adel l'avrech l'kales al kol divrei shirot v'tishbachot David ben Yishai avdecha mishichecha yishtabach shimcha lawad malkeinu elamelech v'vod shemaim ba'aretz.
Please rise if you're able.
Barachot v'hodot metav yad olam baruch atah Adonai el melech gadol batishbachot el hadot Adonai niflaot haboche b'shirei zimra melech ochei ha'olamim yitgadal v'yikadash shemei rabba b'amad dibra kiritei v'yemlech machutei b'chayechon v'yomechon uv'chayei dechol bet Yisrael Bagala, Bagala, Ubizmahan Karib, Vimru, Amen. Yeshmei Rabba Mavarach, Li'olam Yalmei Amaya, Yitbarach, Yitbarach, Vishtabach, Vipar, Vitramam Yinaseh, Vitadar, Vitalev, Vitalal, Shmei Kudsho, Le'ela, Mikol Berchata V'Shirata, Tush bechata v'nechemata dahamiran bi'alma v'imru. Amen. Page 107. Baruch hu et Adonai hamborach. Baruch Adonai hamborach le'olam hamboed. Baruch Adonai mecholam yotzer berechoshech oseh shalom v'red hakol. You can be seated. Hakol yaducha v'hakol yishabucha v'hakol. En kakacha Adonai Eloheinu b'olam hazeh ve'ein zulecha malkeinu l'chayolam haba efes biltecha goleinu limona Mashiach ve'ein domeh lecha Moshiach l'tchiyat hametim El Adon al kol amasim baruch u'mvarach b'pi kol neshama Gadlu v'tuvo malei olam dadu tvuna sovivimoto Hamidgo el chayot hakodesh v'neder bechavod ala merkava Zochut u'mishor lifnei kiso chesed v'rachamim lifnei kevodo Tovim me'orat shebaro Eloheinu yetzaram b'da'at b'vina u'haskel Koach u'gvura natan bahem li'ot moshlim et kerev tebel maleim zivum fikim noga no eziva bechol haolam. Tzmechim b'tzeitam v'sasim b'voam, osim b'yem haratzon konam. P'yer v'chavod nodim l'shmo, tzala v'rina l'zecha malchuto. Kara l'shemesh v'yisrachor, rawa v'hitkin surat halvana. Shevach notnim lo kol tzeva marom, tiferet u'gedula, srafim v'yofanim v'chayot hakodesh. Tisbarak Moshiach Shevach Maaseh Yadecha V'amor Asher Asita Yifaruch Hasela. Page 110. Tisbarak Tzurenu Malkeinu V'go Aleinu Barek Kedoshim. Kuhulam Moavim Kulam Barim Kulam Gibarim V'chulam Musim Mebema Ritzon Konam V'chulam Pochim Mepim Kedusha V'tara V'shira V'zimra Mefachim Meshapchim Marfim Maritzim Makdishim Umam Lichim Et Shem Ha'el HaMelech HaGadol HaGibor V'Nara HaKadoshu V'kulam Mekablim Aleim Amchut Shemaim Zeh Mizeh V'notnim Rishut Zel Hazeh Elektish Liotram B'nachat Ruach V'safar V'rav V'nima Kedosha Kulam Kechadonim Yamrim B'yirah Kadosh 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 Adonai Tzvaot Melo Koratz Kvodo V'ofanim B'chad HaKadosh Brash Gadol Menasim Lorat Tzarafim Lumatam Meshabchim V'yomrim Baruch Kevod Adonai Mimkomo. Bottom of 110. Le'el Baruch Mitenu. Or Chadash Al Tzion Tir V'nizkei Kulam Merali Aro Baruch Atah Adonai Yotzer HaMeorot Davar V'tanu Eloheinu.
What does he care? He walks away.
Looking for the finger.
I have a feeling that they get canceled.
Page 111. V'havienu l'shalom me'ar b'kanfot ha'aretz v'tolichenu komemiyut le'artzeinu ki el poel Yeshua data uvanu v'charta mikolam v'lashon v'keraftanu l'shimcha hagadol sela be'emet lodot lechecha b'yava baruch atah Adonai habocher b'amo Yisroel b'yava Shema Yisroel Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad V'yavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol avavecha U'v'chol nafshecha U'v'chol me'odecha V'hayu hadvarim ha'ele Asher Anochi Mitzavecha Hayom alavavecha V'shinatam Levanecha V'dibarta bam V'shivtecha B'veitecha U'v'leftecha B'derech U'b'shoplecha U'v'kumecha U'kshatam liot Al yadecha V'hayu l'totafot Bein einecha U'ktavtam Al mezuzot U'v'isharecha
תשמעו את מוזר, ויצהר נחשב שביצהר אחד. צבא יום בעד הרמות שלהם, הוא דבר, אבל זה ציטוק.
Adonai Elohechem Emet.
ויעשה בנכון וקיים וישר.
לדור ודור קיים ושמו קיים בחיסון הכל מלכותיו בנצו ליד קיים דור ורעים
ודבריו חיים וקיימים נאמין ומחניר.
אמת שתון אלוהינו ולאל אבותינו מלכנו מלך אבותינו גואלנו גואל אבותינו יוצרנו צור ישרתנו פדנו מצאנו מעולם שמך אין אלוהים זולתך page 114 עזרת אבותינו
מצרים גאלתנו אדוני אלוהינו מדין בניתנו משפיל גאים ומגביה שפלים מוציא אסירים ופודה ענבים ויעזר עליה ברוך וברוך משה ונצרה בשמחה רבה ואמרו
רם וניסה גדול ונורא משפיל גאים ומגביה שפלים מוציא אסירים ופודה ענבים ויעזר דלים Bion aliyamo beit shalom elav tehilot le'elayam baruch umborach Moshe uvenei Yisrael lecha anu shira b'simcha rabba v'amru chulam.
If you're able to, please rise.
Mi kamocha boelim Adonai Mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh Norati lod osei fele Shira chadasha shibchu geulim l'shimcha al sefat hayam Yachad kulam hodu v'himlechu v'yamru Adonai imloch leolam bo'ed Tzur Yisrael kuma be'ezrat Yisrael Ufteinu mecha Yehuda ve'Yisrael Go aleinu Adonai tzvot shemo Kedosh Yisrael Baruch atah Adonai Go al Yisrael.
We'll begin the Amidah for the Shacharit, the morning service for Shabbat with Steve on page 115b. We'll continue with him through the congregational responses for the Kedusha, page 116. Then, individually, 117 through page 120.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Eloheinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanara, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chazdei Avot, Omei V'gwelev Nebneihem, L'man Shmo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer Voked Moshiach, U'magen Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham Voked Sarah, Atah Gibor L'Olam Adonai, Mechayei Meitim, Atah Rav Loshia, Mechakel Chayim B'Chesed, Mechayei Meitim B'Rachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim V'Rofech Oholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem Emunato, Lishenei Afar, Mikamocha Bal Givurot, Umido Melach, Melech Memid, Umekayeh, Umatzmiach Yeshua, V'nemanat l'chayot metim baruch atah Adonai mechayei hametim. Nekadesh et shimcha ba'olam kishem shemakdishim ota b'shmei marom. Katuv Ayad Nevi'echa V'kara Zeh El Zeh Ve'amar Kadosh, Kadosh, Kadosh Adonai Tzvaot Melok Haaretz Kavodo Az Bekol Rosh Gadol Adir V'chazak Mashmi'im Kol Az Bekol Rosh Gadol Adir V'chazak Mashmi'im Kol Mitnasim leumatzerafim, mitnasim leumatzerafim, mitnasim leumatzerafim, lemutam baruch yomeru, baruch kevod Adonai mimkomcha, malkeinu tovia. V'timloch aleinu ki mechakim anachnu lach. Matai timloch b'tzion bekara b'yameinu. Leolam bo'ed tishkon. Tiskadal v'tiskadash b'tok Yerushalayim ircha. Ledor vador lunetzach netzachim v'yeinenu tirena malchutecha kadavar Amor b'shirei uzecha Ayadei Davi Mishiat Tzidkecha
Imlo Charelam Elohai Hirzion
Ledovador Hallelujah Ledovador Nagid Gadlecha Ulenetzach Netzakim Kedushka Nakdish V'shivchecha Elohim Mipin Loshlam Boed Kamel Kadol Kadosh Atah Baruch Atah Adonai Hawel HaKadosh. Hey, what the heck?
If you're still finishing up with the Amidah, feel free to continue. If you've already completed the Amidah, please turn to page 138. If you're able to, please remain standing. Kaddish Shalem.
Yikadal v'kadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
B'yalma dibra kirutei b'melech machutei b'chaychonu b'machon echad kol b'Yisrael b'gol v'zman kari v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mavorach li'olam yom maya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'ishtabach v'par v'shma minaseh v'dav v'lev shmei kudasha.
Brechu.
Leilam kol b'chata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechamata damiram b'yalma v'yimaru.
Amen.
Tiskabel tzon uvuan dechol Yisrael kadamavu and b'shmaya v'yimaru.
Amen.
Yehi Shalom and Shemaya B'chayim Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Yimeru.
Amen.
Aseh Shalom B'Mromav Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Kol Yisrael V'Yimeru.
Amen. Please be seated. We'll continue now on page 72 with Shir Shel Yom, the psalm for Shabbat.
Yom Yom Shabbos Kodesh Shiva Vogim Beis HaMikdash. Od Yenuvon B'Sheva Titshanim Renim Yu Lakiki Shardonai Tzarev Lav La Tabo.
If you're able to, and you are a mourner, we'll invite you to please rise. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 82. Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rambam.
Amen.
Be'alma divrach irutei ve'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uvyomechon uvchaye dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala ubizman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mevarach le'olam ulome olmaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitale v'yitalal. Shemei dekudesha rechu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata, damiran be'alma v'imru, Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav, hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael v'imru, Amen. Let's turn back now to page 139. Once again, if you're able to, please rise. We'll begin the service for taking the Torah from the ark.
Ein kamocha Belohim Adonai v'yein kemasecha malachutecha malchut kol olamim umemshaltecha b'chol dor v'dor. Adonai melech, Adonai malach, Adonai yimloch, le'olam boez, Adonai oz le'amo yitein, Adonai yavarech et amo v'shalom, av harachamim, heitivar b'rtzoncha et Zion, Tivnei Chomot Yerushalayim, Ki Becha Levad Batachnu, Melech El Ram Ben Isa, Adon Olamim. Vayehi ben Aaron, Vayomer Moshe, Kuma Adonai ve'afutzu oivecha ve'anusu misanecha mipanecha ki mitzion tetzei Torah ki mitzion tetzei Torah udevar Adonai miYerushalayim Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Baruch Shenatan Torah Torah Le'amo Yisrael B'Hikdushato Baruch Shemei the Baum. Be'ana rochet Belishme Kadisha Kadisha Yakira Ana Emar Tushbechon Be'ana rochet Be'ana rochet ולשמי קדישה, קדישה יקירה, אנו אמר תושבחון, יהי רבה כדמך, דתפתח ליבי באורייתא, ותשלם משלין דליבי, וליבה דכל עמך ישראל, לטוב ולחיים ולשלום. אמן. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Echad Eloheinu Gadol Adonenu Kadosh Shemo.
Gadlu Adonai Ti Uneramema Shemo Yachdav Lecha Adonai Agdula Ve'Hagibura Ve'Hatiferet Ve'Hanetzach Ve'Hahod Kichol Bashamayim U'Ba'aretz Lecha Adonai Hamlocha Ve'Hamisnaseh Lechol Lerosh Romemu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu V'Hishtachavu Lehadam Raglav Kadoshu Romemu Romemu Adonai Eloheinu V'Hishtachavu V'Hishtachavu Leharkat Shaho Ki Kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Thank you, thank you.
Who's reading today?
Karen.
Okay. Who's got the haftarah? Oh, Steve's got the haftarah. Good job.
I may not have actually rolled the Torah back to where it's supposed to be, so let me just quickly get in here a second. Yeah, we have just a little ways to go. So more than a little ways actually, but I completely forgot that I changed where the Torah was. Oops. Not even close, I'm sure. At this point, make sure we're not.
You know, we should probably roll right after
Yeah, we should.
the
but
preceding service.
somebody forgot to roll it this weekend. I can't imagine who that would
I
be.
hope if you can't do your job, you know,
We're still good.
this may be good for government work, but not
We're still. There we go. We're on eager now, at least. A little closer. Well, I ask your indulgence for just a minute while we remember that we had a holiday last week and didn't read the Torah from the same place. So, apologize for that. We will get there. Let's get it. We're getting there. 15 column there, so we should be fine.
Feel like a workout.
Okay, we are getting close. Just a few more columns and we'll be fine. Yep, right down there. So I'd like to wish everybody once again Shabbat Shalom. We're very excited to be celebrating Carly and Jordan's Ufruf, and we'll get to that in just a few minutes. Just wanted to share with you a word or two about our Torah portion this morning. Guess I gave you extra time to talk today while we were rolling the Torah, but I guess I just encourage more conversation. Anyway, for as long as there has been a Jewish religion, there have been a certain group of people who've devoted their lives to the service of God. Yeah, what are you going to do? If you want quiet, Anyway, where was I? In our Torah portion this morning, a group of people, in fact, an entire tribe, the Levites, or at least the men in the tribe of Levi, are set aside from all the others, all the other men of the other tribes of Israel, and they're asked to devote their lives to the service of God. They don't go to the army. They don't necessarily get an allocation of land, although that's a little more complicated than that, but basically they don't get an allocation of land. They work in the service of God, doing various jobs in the Mishkan, the tabernacle. They are compensated by the rest of the people in the form of sacrifices and offerings. It is really striking that in our Torah portion today, there is a census of these Levite groups to figure out how many people are available to do this work to be in the service of God. And that raises the question, how many people do you really need to devote their lives to the service of God in order to maintain a vibrant religious life? And interestingly enough, this is a question that generates a tremendous amount of debate in modern Israel today. In ancient times, the Levites were 1/12 of the Israelites, and in theory, the system was that the other 11/12, the other 11 tribes, supported those Levites so they could devote themselves to God. In the modern state of Israel, somewhere north of 20% of the Jewish population is composed of ultra-Orthodox. And of the ultra-Orthodox Jews, the men in general devote their lives to God by spending their lives studying Torah. Very few adult men among the ultra-Orthodox are actually in the workforce. This is an arrangement that dates back all the way to David Ben-Gurion. He made an arrangement with the ultra-Orthodox parties when the first government of Israel was formed to subsidize the people who were studying in yeshiva so that they didn't have to work or go to the army. At the time, it was a very small number of people, just probably in the hundreds or low thousands, a very small proportion of Israeli society. But that number has grown, and as the ultra-Orthodox have maintained their political leverage in Israel, they've managed to get subsidies for those who study in yeshivas and kollels, increased most years, and an increasing number of people are not in the workforce. to the point where one of the major issues in this month's budget negotiations and in the Israeli elections is how many people can the state of Israel afford to support? How many people studying Torah? As the number grows and grows with no end, the burden on other Israelis who are out in the economy working grows greater and greater. And I suppose that if you want to make the argument that that's just what has to happen for a Jewish society to function, you could look back at our Torah portion today. But there are some important differences that I think really make the case for a different setup in Israel than what they actually have today. The first difference is that, again, there are a limited number of Levites. And in other parts of the Torah makes provisions. What if there's not enough work in the tabernacle for all the Levites to do? In that case, the Levites are given a series of towns with fields outside the towns. In those towns, they work the fields, they have businesses, they practice crafts and trades like anybody else. And in later times, what ended up happening was that the Levites were divided into shifts, and they would come just for a couple of weeks to work in the temple in Jerusalem. The rest of the time, they would be part of the economy. So there was not an expectation, really, that even 1/12 of the Israelites would be supported by everybody else. The only people that were supported by the Israelites full-time were the people that were really needed for the service of God. Everybody else had to pull their fair share, had to learn the skills, had to get the education that they needed to be part of the economy. And I think that that's really the model that Israel needs right now to avoid being overburdened, to have a society where so much is asked of the majority to support a growing minority, because it's simply not sustainable and it's not healthy. And it would be good for, I think, Israel to look back on this model in the ancient times and realize that although you're always going to need some people to devote their lives to the service of God, that number isn't nearly as great as it first seems. And that really the best thing for everybody is if most people are part of the life of the nation as a whole, are part of the economy, get the kind of education, bear the kind of responsibility that everybody else bears. That is a much healthier and a much more equitable arrangement. And I think the Torah really does actually make that case today. I'll ask Larry, and welcome Larry back, first of all. Welcome back, Larry. Larry will tell you where we're at in the Torah, now that we found it in the scroll. And we'll begin our Torah reading in just a minute.
Our reading begins in Eitz Chaim on page 791.
V'ya'azor v'yagein v'yoshia l'chol hachosim bo v'nomar hakol havu godel le'lochenu udnu chavod la'torah kohen kirav Ya'amod Shmuel ben Avraham v'Rivka HaKohen Ta'amod Bela bat Davud Ash Baruch Shenatan Torah li'amo Yisrael b'kedushato ve'atem hadavekim baranoi Elohechem chayim kulachem hayom.
With the Torah reader is pointing. Can you do the same?
Baruch Hu es Adonai HaMorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMelech Le'olam Bo'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMorach Le'olam Bo'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Bacha Banu Mikol Harmim V'nasan Lanu Es Toraso. Baruch Atah Adonai Noseina Torah.
Amen.
Amen. V'yidaber Adonai Moshe Le'mo Nasa Es Rosh B'nei Gershon Gam Heim Levei Sabo Sam L'Mishpacho Sam Miben Shiloshim Shana V'Mala Ad Ben Chamishim Shana Tiv Kodo Sam Kol Haba L'Sava Sava La'avod Avoda Bohel Moed So Sabodas Mishpachosa Geshuni La'avod U'Lamasa.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam Asher Nasan Lanu Toras Emet v'chayei olam noson b'sochenu, baruch atah Adonai, nosein haTorah.
Amen.
Stand over here.
You're going to stand next to the tall gentleman.
Page 791, verse 25.
Ta'amod
Esther Bas Ze'ev Halevi Besora.
Esther Bas Ze'ev Halevi Visora.
Still, wait,
Oh, right, I forgot.
it's okay. No problem.
Baruch Hu Es Adonai HaMavorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMelech Le'olam Voed.
Baruch Adonai HaMavorach Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher bocha banu mikol ha'amin v'nasan lanu es Torah. So Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Benasu es Yirios Mishkon B'Yisrael Moed Mechasehu Umichsei Hatach Zasher Olav Mil Mala V'Yes Mosach Pesach Ohel Moed V'Yes Kalei Hechotzer V'Yes Mosach Pesach Hechotzer Asher Mishkon B'Yisrael Soviv V'Yes Meisrehem V'Yes Kol Kolei Avodosam V'Yes Kol Asher Yaseh Lohem V'Avodu Al Pi Aron Uvanov Tiyeh Kol Avodas B'nei Hagershuni L'chol Masaom U'L'chol Avodosam Uvkaratem Alehem B'Mishmeres Es Kol Masaom Sos Avodas Mishpachos B'nei Hagershuni Bohel Moed U'Mishmartam B'Yad Isamor Ben Aron HaKohen.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher noton lanu Torah sanes v'chayei olam v'natach te v'sochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah.
Amen. We continue on page 792, verse 29.
You read beautifully.
Ya'amod Shabtai Ben Zev Shilishi.
Baruch Adonai HaMelech Le'olam Voed. Baruch Adonai HaMelech Le'olam Voed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher bocha banu mikol ha'amin. V'nasan lanu es Torah. So Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah. Amen.
Amen. B'nei Mirari, L'mishpachosam, L'beis Avosam, Tivkodosam, Mi ben Shiloshim Shana V'mala Va'ad, Ben Kamishim Shana Tivkudem, Kol Haba Litzava La'avod, Es Avodas Ohel Moed, V'zos Mishmeres Masoam, L'chol Avodosam Bohel Moed, Karshe HaMishkon, Uvricha V'yamuda V'yadonav, V'yamudei, Hechotze Sovi V'yadnehem, V'seidosam U'meisrahem, L'chol Kileihem, U'l'chol Avodosam, Uvshemos Tifkedu Es Kalei Mishmeres Masoam, Sos Avodas, Mishpachos B'nei Mirari, L'chol Avodosam Bohel Moed, B'yad Isamor Ben Aron HaKohen.
Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Olam. Asher nosan lanu Torah sanes v'chayei olam natah b'sochenu. Baruch Atah Adonai Nosein HaTorah. Amen.
I don't know if I should announce it or just say it. Mi shebeirach avotenu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Karachel v'Rayach Yibolech v'Yolapet HaCholeh Shabtai Ben Zev v'Kadosh Baruch Hu L'mirachim Amalok Sikol B'Tov Yishlach Me'ara Refuah Shlem Min Mashamayim Refuah Nevesh Refuah Guf Toshel Cholei Banecha V'Chazek Edes Kemot Tzorcheihem Shabbat Himin Yizog Fro Kabbalah B'Hashta V'Zman Kriv Ramar Amen.
Thank you.
Everything should go well.
We continue on page 792, verse 34.
Ya'amod Heskel Ben Ruben Rivi'i.
Baruch Adonai Barach.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam
Baruch
Voed.
Adonai Barach Le'olam Moed. Baruch Adonai Eloheinu Asher Bahar Banu Mikol Ha'amim. ונתן לנו את תורתו, ברוך אתה אדוני נותן את תורה.
Amen.
Amen. V'yivkod Moshe v'Aaron u'nisiyeh ha'edos b'nei ha'koasi l'mishpachosam u'leveis avosam miben 30 shana v'amala v'yad ben 50 shana kol haba litzava la'avoda v'ohel moed v'yu pikudehem l'mishpachosam alpayim sheva meos v'chamishim Ele pikudei mishpachos hakosi kol oved bohel moed asher pokad Moshe v'Aaron al pi Adonai biyad Moshe.
ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם אשר נתן לנו תורת אמת וחייה ונען נטע בזוכנו ברוך אתה אדוני נותן התורה.
We continue on same page, 792, verse 38.
Sorry.
We're all excited.
I'm very excited. I've done so much. Nehemiah Moshe and Shlomo Yitzchak.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Nehemiah Moshe.
Okay. Ya'amod Nehemiah Moshe
and Shlomo Yitzchak.
ben Shlomo Yitzchak Ta'amod Shoshana bat Rav Shira v'Yakov Chamishi.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Bo'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaBarach Le'olam Bo'ed. Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baka banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch Atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Ufkudei b'nei Gershon l'mishpachosam u'leveis avosam miben 30 shana v'amal v'yad ben 50 shana kol haba litzava la'avoda bohel moed v'yu pikudehem l'mishpachosam leveis avosam alpayim v'sheish meos u'shloshim Ele pikudei mishpachos b'nei Gershon kol oved bohel moed asher pokad Moshe v'Aaron al pi Adonai Ufkudei mishpachos b'nei Merari l'mishpachosam leveis avosam miben 30 shana v'amal v'yad ben 50 shana kol haba litzava la'avoda bohel moed v'yu pikudeihem l'mishpachosam sheloshes alofim u'mosayim Ele pikudei mishpachos b'nei Merari asher pokad Moshe v'Aaron al pi Adonai biyad Moshe kol hapikudim asher Pokad Moshe v'Aaron nisei Yisrael es halaviyim l'mishpachosam u'leveis avosam miben 30 shana v'amala v'yad ben 50 shana kol haba la'avod avodas avodav avodas masa bohel moed v'yu pikudeihem shimunas alofim v'chomesh meos u'shmonim Al pi Adonai pokadosam b'yad Moshe ish al avodoso v'al masa'o uvkudav asher tziva Adonai es Moshe.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan lanu Torat emet v'chayim olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen. We continue near the bottom of page 793, chapter 5, verse 1.
Wait, stay here. Stay here.
Sorry, I get really excited. I get really excited.
Ya'amod.
You're not embarrassing. When you have people who don't even know the prayer.
Yeah. And we're Ramonic, so we're good for that.
Michael
Oh my God, he's tall.
ben
Shmuel.
Oh, okay. Michael ben Shmuel. She. You take your tongue where the Torah was pointing.
Touch that word with your towels. Just touch it. And kiss your towels. And that's
Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai
Baruch
Adonai
HaMevorach
HaMevorach
Leolam
Va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim v'natan lanu et Torato.
Baruch atah Adonai, noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'yidaber Adonai Moshe le'mor, tzav es b'nei Yisrael, v'yishalachu min hamachaneh, kol tzeru v'chol zav, v'chol tomei la'nofesh, mizachod nekevot tishalechu, el michutz lamachaneh tishalachum, v'lo yidma'u es machanehem, asher ani shochen b'socham, v'yasu chen b'nei Yisrael, v'yishalachu osam, el michutz lamachaneh, kasher diber Adonai el Moshe, ken asu b'nei Yisrael.
Now, right, where the Torah was pointing, just put it there and kiss it. And then you're saying the last blessing. Here's the, if you need, you could say, Baruch.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'toyenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Thank you. Thanks for your help.
We continue on page 794, verse 5.
Sorry. Thank you. I'm doing my best out here.
Ya'amod
You guys are too nice.
Yarden ben Shmuel v'Rezel Ta'amod Bina bat Shlomo Yitzhak Shiv'i. And where the Torah is pointing.
Okay. It's okay. Baruch et Adonai hamvorach.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai hamvorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amin, v'natan lanu et Torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. V'yidaber Adonai Moshe le'mor, daber el b'nei Yisrael, isho isha, ki yasu mikol chatos hodam lu'oma al baronoi, v'yashma ha'nefesh hahi, v'yisvadu es chotosam, asher osu, v'yeshiv es hashemo b'rosho, v'chamishiso Yosef olav, v'nosan, la'asher sham lo, v'im ein lo ish goel, lo shiv hosham elav, Hosham, Hamushav Ladonoi La Kohen, Milevad, El Hakipurim, Asher Yachaper Bo, O love, V'chol Teruma, L'chol Kodshe B'nei Yisrael, Asher Yakriv La Kohen Lo Yiyeh, V'ish Es Kadeshav Lo Yiyu, Ish Asher Yitain La Kohen Lo Yiyeh. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam nata b'tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Thank you. Okay, so I want you guys over here. Let's do Chassid Kaddish first.
Please stand. Please rise.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash Shemei Rabbai.
Amen.
B'alma divrach chirutei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon u'vyomechon u'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman kariv v'yimeru. Amen. Yehi Shmei Rabba Mevarach Le'olam Le'olam Me'omaya Yitbarach Yitbarach Ve'yishtabach Ve'yitpoar Ve'yitromam Ve'yitnase Ve'yitadar Ve'yitale Ve'yithalal Shemei Dikudesha Ve'richu Le'ela Min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'alma v'yimeru. Amen. Please be seated. Give me just 1 second. okay. We can wait. Yeah. You're just invited to share in the moment. So first of all, I'm going to have the pleasure of offering on behalf of our congregation a blessing for Carly and Jordan on the occasion of their impending marriage. And actually what's really kind of cool about today is that they're doing it old school, and their wedding is tomorrow. So we're really, really impressed and happy that you could be with us here today. Mishebeirach Avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarariv Karachel v'Raya Hu Yivarech et Hechatan Shlomo Yitzchak ben Yosef HaKohen. I'm sorry. I'm used to. Yes, thank you. That makes much more sense. Okay, yeah. I'm used to reading the last line in the honor sheet, but this is not the last line in the honor sheet today. Okay, let's try this again. Mishebeirach Avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarariv Karachel v'Raya Hu Yivarech et Hechatan Yarden ben Shmuel HaKohen v'et Hakala Bina bat Shlomo Yitzchak, asher b'karav yikansu lachupa ba'avu sha'alu lichvod hamakom, lichvod Torah, v'lichvod haShabbat. Kadosh Baruch Hu yad aleichem livnod bayit b'Yisrael, bayit bo yishkenu ahava v'achava, shalom v're'ud, bayit bo yigdelu, v'anim b'ivliyut, v'osher ba'avat Torah ub'masim tovim v'yishlach bracha b'atzacha b'chol ma'asedehem v'nomar amen. May God have blessed our ancestors, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah. Bless this chatan, the groom, Jordan, and this kala, this bride, Carly, who will be joined under the chuppah, who have come for an aliyah with reverence for God, the Torah, and Shabbat. May the Holy One help them to build a Jewish home based on love and harmony, peace and companionship. May they be blessed with healthy children when it's the right time and after you've had a chance to have plenty of adventures of your own.
Just kidding.
Yeah. We know that as a parent, I can tell you, parents, we have opinions, we share them, but we do understand that it's up to you to take our advice and our input into consideration, but not view it as a mandate. So, anyway, but it's interesting. I'm not going to do too much more vamping here, but this is part of the standard blessing. It's not like we just put it in there because I talked to you and you said, hey, we think you may one day want to have kids. It's actually the entire Jewish community is giving its expectations to you right here in this form of this blessing.
Yeah.
Anyway. May their lives imbued with happiness, love of Torah, and masim tovim, good deeds. May God bring success and blessing to all their worthy endeavors, and let us say, Amen. So before you start throwing anything, which we will do, I promise, keep your arms warm. I do have a few things I want to share with Carly and Jordan, and also we have a presentation on behalf of our congregation. As I warned Carly and Jordan, have a little bit more to say because, well, it'll be obvious in a minute. So first of all, I want to thank both of you for allowing us to be part of the celebration of your Simcha this weekend. We're really just so happy to have you here. And really, Carly, on a personal note, and again, I think speaking on behalf of a lot of us who are here, you're celebrating here with us today has a special meaning because you have special significance in our lives. Some of us, not me, I'm not quite that old, but we're here when you celebrated your bat mitzvah, right here, up here, just a few years ago. I have been here long enough, though, that I remember when you were still in high school. Yes. I remember you coming to your services with your dad, sometimes on Shabbat morning. I remember being in patio players with you. Yep. And I remember talking to you a lot, too, during that time. And one thing that was really obvious even then, and certainly even more obvious now, is you really had a lot going for you. You were, even at the time, back in high school, mature, intelligent, caring, focused. And it was really easy to see that you'd have a bright future ahead of you. And now it's really nice to flash forward a few years. And that bright future is here, and we are so excited for you. So Jordan, you, of course, are new to most of us. I had the privilege of meeting you this week. And I want to, first of all, extend our welcome to our extended PJC family, of which the Rubinfelds have been a part for a very long time. Anybody who is part of their family is a part of our family. And by the way, that we know also that if you meet Carly's standards, that you will certainly meet our standards as well. And I think that was clear in getting a chance to talk with you this week, that is in fact the case. And we're very, very excited that Carly has found such a wonderful partner.
Yeah.
So I want to also, speaking of parental input here, I want to welcome Jordan, your family here. Barbara and Richard are here. Grandmother Helen is here too. Michael had Leah a minute ago. We want to wish you all a mazel tov, and we hope we'll share many more simchas with you. And just a quick mazel tov also to Barbara and Steve. You guys have been a part of our PJC family for a long time, and not just like a part, but you really are an example of families that we cherish, families that just don't just talk the talk, but you really walk the walk. You are great Jewish role models for all of our congregation. You've provided us with lots of support, lots of leadership. Steve, your leading today is very symbolic, as you've been in that role really ever since I've been here, and probably a long time before that too. So it's great sharing with you another simcha. Keep them coming, and we're always happy to host whatever celebrations you want to have in your family. So getting on to the main point of what I wanted to say. So Carly and Jordan, the most interesting part of your story, it was a really interesting story that you told me this week, was the timing of how your relationship began and how it blossomed. First date was in Florida, where you were both living, and that auspicious time was early 2020. I remember that time very well. It was that time right before the pandemic. But even though you'd only been dating really a few times before the pandemic broke out, you didn't let COVID get in the way of your relationship. Somehow you managed to grow it through all those very, very difficult months that were 2020 and beyond. And I think just as things were kind of getting settled, as you guys were getting settled in as a couple, just as things were beginning to calm down a little bit, Carly, you got a really great postdoc opportunity that you were offered. And that postdoc opportunity, as you guys know, was in New York.
Yeah.
But right, just when things are looking, But what's really, inspiring about you as a couple is you didn't let that get in your way. You didn't let the distance get in your way, and Jordan, you found a way a few months later to make your way to New York to be with Carly. And after that, you had a chance, and the pandemic, I think, helped us a lot, to spend a lot of time just together, yourselves, at home, inside, doing your work together, sharing a life together. And it's interesting now that as things are changing, as the pandemic is ebbing, Carly, you're back seeing patients in person, you're starting to do clinical supervision, and Jordan, most days at home, it's a little emptier now, just you and Furioso. That's the cat, by the way. Yeah. And I know this before, but that's a Mad Max reference for those people who are film buffs. So once again, you're beginning your married life and the cusp of what is yet another change in the realities of your life together, and something that's changing also some aspects of your relationship. And I guarantee you this isn't going to be the last time that something is going to happen in your lives that's going to bring about some change, going to ask you to do some realignment, some adjusting, some rebalancing. So the question that you've already faced so often, you're really pros at this already, but you will continue to face in the future is, how do you maintain that healthy and balanced relationship in the face of change? And I want to offer a quick insight from our Torah portion, because that's what rabbis do. So in our Torah portion, and it describes, as I talked about before, the work of the Levites in the Mishkan and the tabernacle. And the Levites, their work isn't real exciting. They do a lot of schlepping, according to the Torah. They just carry things around, put them down, put them up, whatever. But we learn elsewhere in our tradition that the Levites have some other jobs as well. They are the choir in the temple. They are the gatekeepers. They're the guardians. They help the Kohanim, the priests, to prepare the offerings. They do the cleanup as well, apparently. So the Kohanim, by contrast, the priests, they get the most glamorous work. They get to make the offerings. They get to light the menorah. They get to bless the people. And they also get the best clothes, too.
Say that.
So the Hasidic commentator Shem Mishmuel raises a question. So, like, why don't the Levites get fancy clothes too? They're part of the service of God. Why shouldn't they get to dress up? So he explains that there's a difference in what is needed for each role. The Kohanim, they're working on the inside, and they're doing jobs that are both very important, but also jobs that don't require a special skill. They're kind of all cross-trained. Everybody can do the same job. So it's really important that they have a sense of unity, a sense of a singleness of purpose, like they are just one entity, acting as one, no matter who happens to be there at the time. But the Levites, they're just different. They're working in the outer part of the tabernacle, and their work is specialized. And in fact, everyone has their own area of expertise. And there's a law, in fact, I didn't know this before yesterday, that a Levite who has one job can't switch jobs with a Levite who has another job. A Levite who is in the choir can't just decide to switch with somebody who's a gatekeeper. In fact, the penalty for doing that, believe it or not, it's a capital crime. I don't know if it was ever enforced, but it just underscores the seriousness of this. So if you look at this whole thing, and overall, in order for the tabernacle to really run efficiently, the temple to run efficiently, there had to be areas where everybody was acting as one, where they were a unitary whole, they were kind of one mind. There had to be other areas of endeavor where everybody had to be an individual, had to use their own individual talents and skills. And you know where this is going. Relationships, kind of like a temple, right? And not just because they're holy, but because relationships are holy in Judaism. That's why we call marriage kiddushin, holiness. But also because they require the same two approaches to really work properly. Because of the circumstances of your lives, it's okay. You've spent a lot of the last 2 years, 3 years even really, during that time, most of the time, more time than most couples ever get a chance to do, just to spend together, yourselves often inside. And in that sense, you told me the pandemic was really a blessing for you. It really kind of jump-started and really, helped your relationship. And as a result, you really have a rich and satisfying life as a couple, and you are extraordinarily close. And you can see that just even from casually just talking to you. You can see how close you are. You support each other. You make each other feel calmer and better able to deal with whatever comes up when you deal with it together. So even as your circumstances will inevitably change, you need to continue to nurture that part of your relationship that is just the two of you, acting as one, being there for each other, putting the other person first. At the same time, it's very clear that each of you are unique and distinct individuals. Just to point out the obvious, you work in different fields. You have different personalities. They are, I think, quite complementary, but they are very different. You come from two different families, and each of you feels close to your own family. You're starting to feel close to the other's family as well, which is awesome. So far, you've done a great job also in encouraging each other's individuality. Jordan, I know you were Carly's biggest supporter and champion during the time that she was doing her licensing and just in general about her career. And Carly, I know you've been a source of strength for Jordan, and you've come to appreciate things that he loves, his love of travel, video games and movies, and especially, although you benefit from it tremendously, his love of cooking as well. So again, as circumstances change in your lives, even as the outside world makes more demands, even as your lives may change internally as well, you're going to need to continue to appreciate and encourage your partner's individuality. To remember that to be good partners to each other, both of you need to also be able to be fully yourselves and support the other person in doing that. So if you can maintain this balance, this flexibility, and I see lots of evidence so far that you've been able to do this, if you can continue to cultivate your ability to be both one mind, but also to be two distinct individuals depending on what the situation calls for, you will, I am sure, be able to weather any change, planned or not, in your life together. You're both really terrific people. Again, that's just clear from the get-go. You're smart, you're down to earth, you're funny, but you're also serious. And you've got lives that have been grounded. You grew up in families with deep Jewish values, and I'm sure that those also inform your approach to life as well. I have no doubt that your love and your relationship will only grow stronger as the years go on. We wish you lots of blessing, happiness, success in your relationship, in your marriage, in the years to come. We hope to share many more symbols with you. And I want to wish you a mazel tov. And before we break out in singing, just a couple things for you. So we'd like to give you this mezuzah for the home that you are building together. And take it with you when you go to the next place. And also, if you would like, we have from our Men's Club, your home is your sanctuary. This is a housewarming party for that time when you do move on to that next home you're going to share together. So we are really so happy to present these things to you. And with that, I'm going to invite Karen America, who's been standing patiently by here, to join us in Siman Tov and Mazel. Before we do that, though, let's do one thing, because we don't want to get our parents. Okay, so why don't you guys step a little bit in the middle, and have parents step to the back. Okay, and as we start to sing, please feel free to gently shower Carly and Jordan with candy.
Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov u'Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov u'Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Yelanu 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 ve'al kol Yisrael Yelanu Yelanu ve'al kol Yisrael Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov u'Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Siman Tov u'Mazal Tov u'Mazal Tov v'Siman Tov Yelanu.
Tov. Get all the stuff out of here. Okay.
Thank
So
you.
we need you here. I'm here. You guys need to stay here.
Okay.
You need to get out of this.
Just find the spot.
The Maftir Aliyah can be found on page 795, verse 8.
Ya'amod Shlomo Yitzhak ben Yosef Maftir Ta'amod Basha bat Nehemiah.
Baruch hu et Adonai Baruch.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Voed.
Baruch Adonai Baruch Le'olam Voed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher baruch banu mikol hamim v'natan lanu et torato. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
Amen. Bim ein lo ish goel, lo shiv hasham elav hasham, hamushav ladonoi la kohen, milivad, el hakipurim asher yachaper ba'olav, v'chol terumah, v'chol kodshei b'nei Yisrael, asher yakrivu la kohen lo yihiyeh, v'ishis kadeshav lo yiyu, ish asher yitein la kohen lo yihiyeh.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher natan haTorah tamed chayil mitzvah b'tocheinu. Baruch atah Adonai noten haTorah.
Amen.
I wouldn't have anyone else read it. So excited.
Remember
At this time, we're going to recite our Mishnah Baruch prayer for those members of our congregation, our community, our loved ones who are ill. If you have anybody you'd like to have included in our Mishnah Baruch prayer, please feel free to announce the name or names of those you're praying for out loud in unison while I scan our Mishnah Baruch list. Mishnah Baruch Avoteinu Abraham Yitzchak v'Yaakov Sarah Rivka Rachel v'Raya Hu Yivarech v'Yirapeh et HaCholim. V'kol ha'cholim b'kihila kedosha hazar HaKadosh Baruch Hu Yimalei racham yimalei lachzi kamara potam v'yishlach lemeira refuah shlema min hashamayim v'ur nefesh v'ur guf tov shalchoi banecha v'chazek eiros k'mitzorchehem hashta v'tzman kriv amar amen. Feel free to take a seat for a minute as Cantor Merrick leads us in Debbie Friedman Mishnah Baruch prayer found in the middle of our Shabbat pamphlets.
Mishnah Baruch Avoteinu מקור הברכה לאמותינו. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Misheberach imotenu mekor habracha lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah shlema, the renewal of body, the renewal of spirit, and let us say Amen.
Ya'amod Moshe Aaron Ben Shmuel Haba.
See if you're still in shape.
Ya'amod Miriam Yehudi Bat Neach Nachum V'Belka Fegel. Galila. Please rise.
Please rise.
Livnei b'nei Yisrael al pi Adonai.
Who's this for?
Please be seated. The Haftorah for today can be found on page 813.
Just real quickly, our Haftorah this morning is connected to our Torah portion because it deals in a certain unusual way with the concept of a Nazarite. A Nazarite is someone who takes a vow, normally, to abstain from wine or other intoxicants, to be careful about having contact with the dead, and not to cut their hair. And this is a vow the Torah describes. It can be taken by anyone at any time. And it's usually a temporary vow, a period when someone decides to take on some extra restrictions to be able to demonstrate their devotion to God. Unlike those kinds of Nazarites, the Nazarite Samson is not given a choice, as we talked about last night. Before he is born, an angel comes to his mother and not only commands her to observe the Nazarite restrictions while she is pregnant, but also to raise the boy that way. He's intended to become a champion of Israel, and apparently being a Nazarite will help him focus his efforts. It's kind of ironic because Samson was probably the most unfocused of Jewish heroes, often giving in to his anger or his lust to the detriment of the Jewish people, but you can't blame God and the angel in the story for trying. Again, our Haftarah, as Larry told us, page 813.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech olam, asher bachar b'nviim tovim, v'ratzah b'dvarehem anamarim be'emet. Baruch atah Adonai abocher b'torah Moshe avdo, u'v'Yisrael amo, u'nvi'eh ha'emet v'tzedek. Vayehi esh echad mitzara mishpachat Adani ushmo Manoach v'ishti akara v'lo yalada. Vayera malach Adonai el ha'isha vayomer eleha hine na'ad akara v'lo yaldat v'hari b'yaldat ben. V'ata hishamrina ve'al tishti yayin b'shechar ve'al tochli kol tamei ki hine hara v'yaladat ben umara lo yaleh al rosho ki nizir Elohim yeh hanar min habeten V'hu yachel Oshia Yisrael mi'at Plishtim. V'tavo Aisha, v'tom Elisha lemor, Ish Elohim ba'elai umarehu kemar'eh, Malach Elohim nora me'od, ולא שילתיהו, אמיזהו, ואת שמו לא יגיד לי, ויאמר לי, הנך הרב ילדת בן, ואתה אל תשתי יין בשחר, ואל תאכלי כל טומאה, כי נזיר אלוהים יהיה הנער מן הבטן עד יום מותו. ויתר מנוח אל אדוני ויאמר בי אדוני איש אלוהים אשר שלחת יבוא נא עוד אלינו ויורנו מה נעשה לנער היולד וישמע אלוהים בקול מנוח ויבוא מלך אלוהים עוד אל האישה והיא יושבת בשדה ומנוח אישה אין עמה ותמהר האישה ותרץ ותגד לאישה ותאמר אליו הנה נראה אלי האיש אשר בא ביום אלי ויקם וילך מנוח אחרי אשתו ויבוא אל האיש ואומר לו אתה איש אשר דיברת אל האישה ויאמר אני ויאמר מנוח אתה יבוא דבריך מה יהיה משפט הנער ומעשהו ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנוח מכל אשר אמרתי על האישה תשמר מכל אשר יצא מגפן היין לא תאכל והיין בשחר אל תשת בכל טומאה אל תאכל כל אשר ציוויתי תשמור ויאמר מנוח אל מלאך אדוני נערצה נא אותך ונעשה לפניך גדיזים ויאמר מלאך אדוני אל מנוח אם תעצרני לא אוכל בלחמך ואם תעשה עולה לאדוני תעלנה כי לא ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא ויאמר מנוח אל מלאך אדוני משמך כי יבוא דבריך וכיבדנוך ויאמר לו מלאך אדוני למה זה תשאל לשמי והוא פלי ויקח מנוח עקדי עזים ביד המנחה ויעל הצור לאדוני ומפליא לעשות ומנוח ואשתו רואים ויהי בלוד הלב מעל המזבח השמיימה ויעל מלאך אדוני בלחב המזבח ומנוח ואשתו רואים יפלו על פניהם ארצה ולא יאסוף את מלאך אדוני להירא אל מנוח ואל אשתו אז ידע מנוח כי מלאך אדוני הוא ויאמר מנוח על אשתו מות נמות כי אלוהים ראינו ותאמר לו אשתו לו חפץ אדוני למיתנו לא לקח מידינו עולה ומנחה ולא הראנו את כל אלה בחיי לא אשמנו כזאת ותלד האישה בן ותקרא את שמו שמשון ויגדל הנער ויברכהו אדוני ותחל רוח אדוני לפעמו במחנה דן בין שרה ובין אשתו ברוך אתה אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם צור כל עמים צדיק בכל דורות הל נאמן אומר ויעשה המדבר מקיים שכל דבריו הם בצדק נאמן אתה אדוני אלוהינו ונאמין דבריך ודבר אחד מדבריך אחר לא ישוב ריקם כמך נאמן ברוך אתה ברוך אתה אדוני Ha'eleman b'chol harav. Rachem al tzion ki bechayenu v'lol v'nefesh toshia b'mira b'yameinu baruch atah Adonai mesamech tzion b'vaneha. Samcheinu Eloheinu v'le'anavi avdecha malchut b'tevim shechecha b'mira yavo v'gelibenu al kisolo yeshev zar v'lo yechal acharim ekvodo ki b'shem katshecha nishpat alo shelo yichben eral yolam v'ohed baruch atah Adonai Magen David Al Torah v'al Avodah v'al Anvim yom Shabbat hazeh shnatat lanu Adonai Eloheinu lekdusha v'menucha lekavod u'letifaret al hakol Adonai Eloheinu anachnu modim lach u'mevorchim otach yitbarach shemcha b'ficha chai tamid l'olam v'ohed baruch atah Adonai mekadesh hashabot.
Amen. Tov. Shakoach to Steve Rubenfeld for chanting off Torah, also for leading Shacharit, by the way. Shakoach to Karen Strauss-Factor for reading from the Torah. Thank you to our Gabayim, Michael Prager, and Larry Abrams, and welcome back, Larry, once again. It's great to have you here. We're going to continue our service in our Sidurim, prayer books, page 148, at the top of the page. Yekum porkan min shemaya china b'chisu v'racha me b'chayri Ve'yishlach beracha ve'atzlacha bechol maseh yedehem im kol Yisrael hachem V'nomar Amen. If you're able to, please rise. We're going to continue just a minute with a prayer for our country, responsively in English by paragraphs, bottom of 148. Our God and God of our ancestors, we ask your blessings for our country, for its government, for its leaders and advisors, for all who exercise just and rightful authority, and for all those who serve our country, both at home and abroad. We ask your protection for all those who are still in harm's way. May they soon accomplish their missions and return safely home. Teach our leaders insights from your Torah. They may administer all affairs of state fairly, that peace and security, happiness and prosperity, justice and freedom may forever abide in our midst.
Creator of all flesh, bless all inhabitants of our country with your spirit. May citizens of all races and creeds forge a common bond of true harmony to banish hatred and bigotry and to safeguard the ideals and free institutions that are pride and glory of our country.
May this land, under your providence, be an influence for good throughout the world, uniting all people in peace and freedom, helping them to fulfill the vision of your prophet. Nation shall not lift up sword against nation, neither shall they experience war anymore. Let us say,
Amen.
We'll continue together with the prayer for the state of Israel in Hebrew, page 149. Avinu sheba shamayim, sur Yisrael v'goalo, barech et medinat Yisrael, reshit smichad gulatenu. Hagen aleha be'evrat chasdecha, ufros aleha sukat shlomecha, ushlach orcha ve'amidcha, l'rosheha sareha ve'yoatzeha, v'taknem be'etzad tova milfanecha, chazek et yedei migine eretz kodshenu, v'hanchilem Eloheinu Yeshua, ve'ateret nitzachon ta'atrem, v'natata shalom ba'aretz, v'simchat olam leyoshveha, v'nomar amen. Please remain standing if you're able to as we continue with a memorial prayer. El Male Rachamim Shochein Mamromim Hamsei Menucha Nechona Tachat Kanfei HaShchina B'malot Kedoshim Utehorim Kezohar Harakia Mazhirim Et Nishmat Reuven ben Moshe Ezra Shahalach la'olamo began Eden tehemenu chato anabal harachamim hastirehu beseter kenafecha le'olamim utzvor b'tzorachem et nishmato Adonai unachalato v'yanuach b'shalom al mishkavo v'nomar Amen. May his memory be for a blessing. I'm going to take the Torah and put it back in the Torah stand. Once it's there, feel free to take your seats. And we are in for both a little bit of a blast from the past and a real treat. Carly is going to lead us in the responsive chanting of Ashrei, page 151, in the middle of the page.
Ashrei Yoshrei Beitecha, Odi Elucha Selah. Teila LeDavid, Aramimcha Elohai HaMelech, Avarcha Shimcha Leolam Vaed. Gadol Adonai Mu'al Me'od, Velitu Etu Ein Kleker. Hadar Kevod Hodecha, V'divrei Niflotecha Asicha.
Ve'ezuz Norotecha Yomeru, Ugdulatcha Asaprena.
Zecher Avtucha Yabiu, V'sitcha Chayeranenu.
Chanun V'rachum Adonai, Erech Apayim Ugdo Chased.
Tov Adonai L'kol, V'rachama V'kol Ma'asav.
Yoducha Adonai Kol Ma'asecha, V'chasidecha Yivarchucha.
Kevod Malchutcha Yomeru, Uvurotcha Yedaberu.
Lohodia Livnei Ha'adam Gevurotav, Ukvod Adar Malchuteo.
Malchutcha Malchut Kol Amim, Umeshaltecha B'chol Dor V'Dor.
Somech Adonai Lechol Hanoflim, Bezokef Lechol Hakfufim.
Enechol Lecha Yisaberu, Ve'atan Noten Lehem Et Tocham Ve'ito.
Poteach Et Yadecha, Umasbia Lechol Chai Ratzon.
Tzadik Adonai B'chol Deracha, V'chasi B'chol Ma'asav.
Karov Adonai Lechol Korav, Lechol Asher Yikra'u Ve'emet.
Ritzon Yerav Yaseh, Ve'et Shabbatam Yishma V'Yoshiem.
Shomer Adonai Et Kol Ohava, Ve'yet Kol Yeshayim Yashmid.
Tzilat Adonai Yedaber Pi, V'yivarech Kol Basar Shem Kodshol Elam Ve'ed, Ve'anachnu Nevarech Ya,
Me'ata V'yad Olam, Hallelujah. Tov, Tov, Tov. If you're able to, please once again rise. Page 153, Steve will lead us in returning the Torah to the Ark. Could have mine.
Yahalelu et Shem Adonai, Kineskav Shemo Levado, Hodo al Eretz V'Shamayim, Vayarem Keren Le'amo, Tila Lechol Chasidav, Livnei Yisrael Am Karovo. Hallelujah. Mizmor LeDavid, Havul Adonai B'nei Elim, Havul Adonai Kavod Vaz, Havul Adonai Kevod Shemo, Hishtachavul Adonai Behadrat Kodesh, Kol Adonai Alamayim Elakavod Irim, Adonai Alamayim Rabim, Kol Adonai Ba'koach, Kol Adonai Behadar, Kol Adonai shover arazim, vayishaber Adonai eretz arzei Havanon. V'yarkidim kimo egel, Lebanon v'Sirion, kamo ben re'emim. Kol Adonai chotzed lavotesh, Kol Adonai yachel midbar, Yachil Adonai midbar kodesh, Kol Adonai yechalel ayalot, v'chasof yarot, uv'chelo kol omer kavod. Adonai lama buya, Shavayeshev Adonai melech leolam, Adonai oz le'amo yiten, Adonai yevarech et amo v'shalom. Thank you, thank you. Moving ocha yomar. Eitz chayim hi lama chazikim ba v'tzom cheha meyushar deracheha darchei noam v'chol netivoteha shalom. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chodesh Chodesh Yameinu Chodesh Yameinu Kekedem.
I'm
ready to go.
Nothing more to say.
Please remain standing.
Please.
Unless we're trying to,
Okay. No, not me.
I'm doubling the gift.
My favorite 3 words of the English language. Please remain standing.
Yes, please remain standing. We're going to continue page 155, Chatzi Kaddish.
Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah v'amad dibra kirtei v'amlech machutei v'chayechon v'yomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'bizman karim v'yimru amen yeshmei Rabbah mevarach le'olam yomei Yitbarach, Yitbarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipar, V'tramam Yinaseh, Yitadar, V'yitaleh, V'yitalal, Shmei Kudsho,
Berechu,
Le'yela, Mikol Bechata V'shirata, Tush
Bechata V'nechemata, Damiran B'alma,
V'yimru, Amen.
Amen. Please join Steve in chanting the first part of the Musaf Amidah together, 156b, and the congregational responses, page 157. Then we'll continue individually with the rest of the Musaf Amidah, pages 158 through 161.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu v'Elohei Avotzeinu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, El Hagadol Hagibor V'Hanara, Eloyon Gomel Chasadim Tovim V'Konei HaKol V'Socher Chazdei Avot, Omi V'Gwal V'Bneihem L'Mat Shmo B'Yahava, Melech Ozer V'Ked Moshiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magen Abraham V'Ketzara, Ata Gibor Lam Adonai Mechem Itim Ata Rav Lo Shia, מחכה חיים בחסד, מחיי מתים ברחמים רבים, צהומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומדומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות מתים, ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי המתים. נעריצך ונקדישך כסוד שיח שרפי קודש, המקדישים שמך בקודש, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר קדוש 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 אדוני צבאות מלוא כל הארץ כבודו. כבודו מעלה מעלה עולם יהיה מקום כבודו, כבודו מעלה מעלה עולם יהיה מקום כבודו, כבודו יהיה מקום כבודו. משרתיו שואלים שואלים זה לזה יהיה מקום כבודו, משרתיו שואלים שואלים זה לזה יהיה מקום כבודו. לעומתם ברוך יאמרו ברוך כבוד אדוני ממקומו, ממקומו הוא יפן ברחמים ויחונם, עם יחד עם שמו ערב הבוקר בכל יום תמיד, פעמיים באהבה שמע אומרים, שמע ישראל אדוני אלוהינו אדוני אחד הוא אלוהינו אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו, והוא ישמיענו ברחמיו שנית 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 ליהנה כל חי, להיות לכם לאלוהים
אני אדוני אלוהיכם,
ודברי קדשך כתוב לאמור,
ימלוך אדוני לעולם אלוהי ציון לדור ודור, הללויה,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, ולנצח נצחים קדושתך נקדיש, קדושתך נקדיש, ושבחך אלוהינו מפינו לא ימוש לעולם ועד. לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור,
לדור ודור נגיד גוד לך, כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. כי המלך גדול, גדול וקדוש, גדול וקדוש אתה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
ציווית פירושך נשיאות. If you're still finishing up with the Amidah, feel free to continue. If you're already done, please turn to page 181. If you're able to, please remain standing for Kaddish Shalem.
Yikadav Gadash Merabah.
Amen.
Yamad Barakateva Mochteva Chachon, Yomechon Bechadel Israel, Balgalavas Makaribi Yimaru.
Amen.
Yesh Merabah Mavarach, Leolam Leomaya, Yitbarach. Yitbarak, Vishtabak, Vipar, Vitrama Binase, Bidadav Level Ashmed Kutsho. Leila, Mikopata Vishurata, Tushpata Benakamata, Darmiam Beama Bimaru.
Amen.
Tiskabel, Tzalombo, and the Holy Shral Kadamavu, and the Bishmaya Bimaru.
Amen.
Yeh, Shalom Shemaya, Vachayim Alena Vakal Yisrael Bimaru.
Amen.
Ose Shalom Imramavuya, Se Shalom Alena Vakal Yisrael Bimaru.
Amen. Please feel free to be seated as we continue with Enk Eloheinu, page 182.
Enk Eloheinu, Enk Adoneinu, Enk Malkeinu, Enk Moshienu, Mich Eloheinu, Mich Adoneinu, Mich Malkeinu, Mich Moshienu. Nodel Eloheinu, Nodel Adoneinu, Nodel Malkeinu, Nodel Moshienu. Baruch Eloheinu, Baruch Adoneinu, Baruch Malkeinu, Baruch Moshienu. Atahu Eloheinu, Atahu Adoneinu, Atahu Malkeinu, Atahu Moshienu, Atahu Shektiru, Avoteinu, Lefanecha et Ketoret Hasamim. If you're able to, please rise once again. 183 for Aleinu. Aleinu l'shabeach
Adon hakol, lateit gedula liotzer breshit, shelo asanu k'goyei ha'aratzot, velo samanu k'mishpachot ha'adama, shelo sam chelkeinu kahem, V'gahor aleinu kechol hamonam.
V'anachnu korim u'mishtachavim u'modim lifnei melech malchei hamlachim hakadosh
Baruch Hu. Zirot meherot hiherzecha. L'choshim chai kartinu kablu kulam olmal kunatecha.
Kakatu b'Torah techadnayim lach ve'lam bo'ed
V'nemar b'haya Adonai L'melech al kol ha'aretz V'yom hahu Yeh Adonai echad Ushemo echad. This is the 14th day of the month of Sivan, and we mark the following yard sites: Mildred Abulafia, Morris Berensweig, Elias Cohen, Alan Stephen Faber, Sam Fogel, Ellen Goldstein, Bernice Goronen, Dr. Elliot Gruskin, who I remember very fondly. He was a member of my first congregation, Madison Jewish Center, many years ago. Erwin Heffling, the father of Michelle Hames, Gussie May, David Neers, Abraham Rich, Elsie Siegel, and Joseph Tannenbaum. May their memories all be for a blessing. If you're a mourner, if you're observing a yard site, if you'd like to say Kaddish with us for any reason, please join me. You'll find Mourner's Kaddish on page 184. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rambam.
Amen.
Be'alma divra chirutei v'yamlich malchutei. V'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael. Bagala uv'izman kari v'imru. Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevarach le'olam ulomei omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpoar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalol shemei dekudesha brechu le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran b'yoma v'yimru. Amen. Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya V'chaim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Oseh shalom b'imromav hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru amen.
Amen.
It's my pleasure at this time to call upon our president, at least for a few more weeks, Bruce Heimowitz, who's back from Florida and ready to share. Yeah. Now that you can decide possibly on the congregation meeting later this month, but in the meantime, here's Bruce for the announcements.
By the way, it's weeks, not years. And it is for those who think it's June 15th. No, it is June 30th. Good Shabbos, everyone. And I'd like to welcome this morning those to Plainview Jewish Center that haven't been here before. And thank you for joining us in this morning's services. Okay. In no order, I'd like to thank those who participated in this morning's services. Let's thank Gene Brickman and Alan Furman, Shay Lerner for being the gabbis. Running around with the honors. The davening preliminary, Yashikol to Hal Mo Allen we'll do it all at once. You got definitely a trifecta here today, Steve. For Shacharit, Steve Rubenfeld, Haftorah, Steve Rubenfeld, and for filling in for Musaf, Steve Rubenfeld as well. For Torah reader, Yashikol, Karen Strauss-Factor. For gabbis on the Bima, I got it correct this time. I didn't forget you, Larry. Larry Abrams and Michael Prager as well. Tov. And for Rabbi Khan for his Devar Torah. This morning's Kiddush in honor of Carly Rubenfeld, Jordan Katz Afroff will be sponsored by the Rubenfeld family, and that'll be as you exit into the ballroom. I want to thank the Rubenfeld family for having this Kiddush, honoring them. And also, you should celebrate many, many more simchas as a family together. Yad Shekol and Mazel Tov to the Katz family as well. And we'll continue on. This evening, live stream Myrav Havdalah service will be on Facebook. Tomorrow morning, back here at 9 a.m. for those that want to join in the men's club, Weingarten, morning minyan, and bagels. We also have tomorrow evening is our Teen Social Action Bingo event and pie throw contest. There's 5 o'clock bingo. I believe it's $10. Please come. And there's been posts all over Facebook about the pie throwing contest. I think the 4 people are Stacy Meyerson, Rabbi Khan, Stu Hames, and Steve Edelman. So all donations will be going to JCRC for anti-Semitism and awareness. So please join. Monday, June 5th, starting at 7:30 p.m., but the congregation meeting is at 8:30 p.m. 8:30 p.m., it's a very important meeting. Sign in if you can't stay. Sign in begins at 7:45. And we're going to be having a financial statement presentation, a budget vote as well, and update on progress of grants that have been going on. As you can see, if you want, you can take a look down the hall. There is a new set of doors up in the Hebrew School, but we'll be talking about that on Monday evening as well. Again, our board meeting was moved due to the BQLI honorees being honored on the 8th, which is Thursday. Our board meeting is going to be on Wednesday, 8:30 p.m., June 7th. I can't hear. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that. Tomorrow, I understand there are no seats left on the bus. Unfortunately, I think you have 18 people, Barbara? 13 people? All right, so we upped it a little, but 13 people from PJC have already taken advantage of that, and the bus is now closed out. So for arrangements, please see Barbara Burst during the Kiddush, and for those that didn't get their T-shirts, I guess, or you gave out everything, you're all good, you're on your way. Enjoy the parade tomorrow. All right, the rest of the years, I guess you're on your own and how you're going to get there. Next Friday evening, June 9th, 7 p.m., we'll be back here with a Pride Shabbat celebration. And next Saturday, we'll have a guest speaker as well from Friday evening's Pride Shabbat. And on June 11th at 7 p.m. is our FJMC Honorary Recognition Program. A couple other upcoming dates just to put down. Rabbi has lunch and learn on Wednesday, June 14th. The 15th is my outgoing president's dinner. But 4 more weeks, Alan. You were sleeping. All right, so what do we have that's really important? And I know, unfortunately, it was at the last Sunday of the fiscal year. Plainview Jewish Center is honoring for the Journal for 2023 both Jennifer and David Frisch. Jennifer is a dentist in the Plainview Old Bethpage community. David is a financial advisor who has a practice in Melville. We really need responses for this, and I know it's a bad time for some people because it's basically the start of summer vacation, but just take a journal ad out. If you can't come, I understand, whether it be graduation, kids are going away from camp, but please, this is the biggest fundraiser that we usually have every year, and it's the most important, so please try and come. Get your reservations in as early as possible. If you have a business, you want to put an ad in, by all means, put an ad in for your business as well as yourselves. So we really need the financial support of our congregants to make this happen. Okay, Shabbat Shalom, and again, Mazel Tov to the Rubenfeld Katz families, and we'll have Kiddush and Motzi here, and again, thank you for sponsoring the Kiddush inside.
Thank you, Bruce. Just a couple quick odds and ends. Mariv Havdalah tonight, online only, 8:30 p.m. That's going to be our time for probably the next 7-8 weeks. So appreciate it if you can join us. Also, just to be clear about tomorrow's fundraising event, it is bingo, of course. There'll be prizes, refreshments, etc. There's also it's not really pie throwing. It's really pie in the face. We're auctioning off the privilege of putting a pie in the face of 4 people in our congregation, including me. If you have always wanted to put a pie in my face, which I could certainly understand if there's some people out there that feel that way, or just want to support what is a really good cause and help our teenagers to raise some money, please bid after Shabbat in our online auction. The online auction is going to be going on until 6 p.m. on Sunday. You don't have to be present to win. If you're not present, you can designate someone to do the aforementioned pieing for you. It'll be broadcast on Facebook Live, so you can still get the satisfaction either at the moment or just go back and watch the recording later. So all of this, again, for a very good cause. Our teenagers themselves have been doing a lot of work in this event. They chose to support an organization that fights anti-Semitism and hatred in our community, promotes understanding and cooperation between religious and ethnic groups, and also, by the way, does a lot to help nonprofits in our community with security, including us. So really great cause, good kids who are working hard. Please support us in any way that you can. That's really it for right now. I'm sure we could go on, but Bruce has done a great job, as usual, in being very comprehensive about our announcements. So we're going to go to page 187. Steve will lead us in Adon Olam. That'll be followed by Kiddush and Hamotzi right here on the Bima.
Adon Olam Hashem Malach B'terem Kol Yitzir Nivra Li'ed Nasa B'chefso Kol Hazai Melech Shemo Nikra V'yacharei Kechlot HaKol Lebado Yimloch Nora V'hu Haya V'hu Hoveh V'hu Yiyeh B'tifara V'hu Echa V'yen Sheni V'hamshir Lo lehachbira beli reishit beli tachlit velo haos behamishra hu eli v'chai goali v'tzor chevli b'yetzara v'hu nisi umanos li manakosi b'yomekra b'yado afkid ruchi b'yeti sham v'yahira v'yim ruchi
If you're able to, Tov, 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 Steve. If you're able to, please rise. Kiddush and Hamotzi, and today we have another treat. Barbara's going to lead us in Hamotzi. Al Kain Berach Adonai et Yom HaShabbat Vayikad Shehu Savri Maradan V'Rabbanan V'Rabotai Baruch Atah Adonai Eloheinu Melech Haolam Borei Peri HaGafen. Okay, so now come wash your hands. We'll do the blessing together. Yeah, please. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanav mitzvotav v'tzivanu al netilat yadayim.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam motzi lechem min ha'aretz. Amen.
Tov, Tov, Tov. It's fine. It's not necessarily, look, you know, she's going to be fighting with my wife for being the highest bidder, so, you know, it's not my wife. That's okay. That sounds wrong to me, though. I feel like if I'm going to ask other people. I feel like if I'm going to ask other people to do it, I should be doing it too. It's not really, you know, it's not okay to just say, okay, oh, everybody else can be invited in the face and also watch. No, different people. No.
He was in the top tank years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah, we had a mitzvah day here, and he was in the top tank.
There's literally no humiliation that I would undergo for PJC.
I was like, hi, Rabbi?
I know, at least it's like it would be hard to sell people. People wouldn't want to do it. Rabbi,
Exactly.
Rabbi.
Exactly.
I don't know. It's like, have a sense of humor, guys. Come on. You know, I mean, nobody's forcing me to do this.
Yeah.